How's everyone doing? As you may well know, Barnes & Noble had their 50% off Criterion Collection sale, and I went a little wild. I kept, I got a few in, put a pile off to the side I was going to do a video for, and then I kept adding to it and adding to it. And I think there might have been a couple in here that I got right before the sale, and I didn't get a chance to show them, so I'm going to include them in this update. But there is 16 titles in total right there. Thumbnail face, you gotta do it, right? For this one, I think it's worth it. I know it's become a cliche on here, that kind of face, but for this, I think it's a worthy inclusion. But as always, if you've seen any of these movies, definitely let me know what you think of them, and let me know which one of these is your favorite. And let me know what you picked up at the Barnes & Noble 50% off Criterion Collection sale, and what you would like to see Criterion release in the future. Again, Criterion Collection does an amazing job on their releases with the titles that they choose, the transfers, special features, even the packaging. Just incredible. Easily one of my favorite companies out there releasing. They used to call it Film School in a Box back in the day. And if you don't know what Criterion Collection is, it says right in the back, a continuing series of important classic and contemporary films. But first up is Akiru by Akira Kurosawa. I have seen this a few times, and I feel like I appreciate it more the older I get. This is a very sad film, very haunting, basically about this guy who is an aging bureaucrat who has stomach cancer, and he's trying to get this park built, and he has to go through all these hoops to get it done. And basically it's just showing what he has to do, and then how people treat him, and then at the end how people kind of look back and appreciate him finally. And again, very beautifully shot, great dramatics in there, great look at humanity too. And I love the ending to this one. I love when they're all sitting around talking about him, and just the shots at the end. Phenomenal film from 1952. This is Spine 221. And next up is Mikey and Nikki. This is from Elaine May, and this is Spine 957. And this is from 1976. John Cassavetes and Peter Falk play off each other very well. Basically, John Cassavetes is kind of like a smarmy character. He basically, I think he robs like a mob boss, and he's basically hiding out, and Peter Falk is like his best friend. They've known each other since they were kids, and then they kind of throughout the movie, you realize how much of a jerk this character is, and how he's been really crappy to him. And I love the ending to this film. It's one that I think about long after viewing. Just the way that it plays out. Just think about, like, I feel like everybody knows somebody that they've known for like a long time, and they're just kind of a crappy person, but somehow you just can't shake them just because of all the things that you've gone through with them, you've grown up with them. And it just kind of makes me think of that. And I also love seeing like the city atmosphere in here as well during that time period. And I believe this was shot in Philadelphia. And Ned Beatty is a hitman, and he's coming after John Cassavetes. John Cassavetes, a great actor and director. But yeah, I love just their interactions, and they're going back and forth, and how chaotic he is, and just how wild and crazy and over the top. But really good film, especially the ending. Absolutely loved it. Next up is General Idi Amin Dada, Self-Portrait. I saw this years ago. I got rid of my DVD copy recently. It just shows how crazy he is, how self-absorbed he is. If I was Barbette Schroeder, I would have been just terrified being there. He really liked being filmed and thinking of himself as kind of like a heroic character. I remember there's a scene where he was on like a boat, or and there was like, I want to say gators in the water or something like that. But yeah, he was a Uganda dictator, essentially, very ruthless, killed tons of people. Some people say he was a charismatic dictator, but he was a terror. And this is Spine number 153, and from 1974. Next up is Camera Person. This is Spine 853. And this is from 2016. This is basically kind of an interesting tapestry of footage captured over a 25-year career of Kristen Johnson, who is, I guess, a camera person, and he talks about a boxing match in Brooklyn, post-war Bosnia, daily routine of a Nigerian midwife, intimate family moment at home with the director. It intertangles those kind of things for juxtaposition, and expecting great cinematography as well from this camera person. So looking forward to checking out. Next up is Japan. This is from 2002. It is Spine 968. I remember this one being kind of a darker one, depressing. This guy is traveling to Mexico City to an isolated village to commit suicide. However, he meets an pious elderly woman who kind of, I guess, reawakens his desires and spirit. And I guess it just kind of goes back and forth. He's like probably debating about what he should do there. And it's just shot on 16 millimeter cinescope. And it also showcases, says on the back, the beauty of the Mexican countryside. And it says, where religion mingles with sex, life coexists with death, and the animal and spiritual sides of human experience become indistinguishable. I'm sold. So I'm definitely looking forward to checking this one out. Next up from Ingmar Bergman is Shame. This is from 1968. It is Spine 961. It says that it's an examination of a violent legacy of World War II and a scathing response to the escalation of the conflict in Vietnam. Max von Sydow and Liv Ullmann star in here as musicians living in a quiet retreat on a remote island farm until the civil war that drove them from the city catches up with them there. So that sounds pretty intriguing to me. Bergman, Max von Sydow, Liv Ullmann, sold. Next up is Straw Dogs. It's been a while since I've seen this one, but this one is palpable to me. It makes my blood boil thinking about the scenes. I want to get in there and help Dustin Hoffman. This is from 1971 and Spine 182. I still need to see the remake. I know that came out a few years ago. I've heard good things about it, but this one, it's hard to imagine it topping this. It's like, the violence, the tension. It's really, I feel like the tension is so palpable in there. Just thinking about it, just again, I get hyped and angry and just, I'm excited to revisit this though. This is from Sam Peckinpah. It's a very controversial film. And a young American mathematician moves with his English wife to a village where she grew up. And then there's a bunch of guys that are hired to like repair the house. And they basically are becoming violent and they have to fight to survive. And they enter the house. And I remember there was like I think a pot with boiling water. But yeah, this one is incredibly tense and an amazing film. And again, I'm looking forward to this as a new restored 4K transfer. A lot of these ones have new transfers. I feel like this influenced many other films. I feel like it definitely played part into Eden Lake as well, which is a really great British horror movie. Some of that tension, also kind of like Last House on the Left, Wes Craven, kind of feel like influenced Eden Lake too. So these are two films that I think could have, it's just my speculation there, influenced the movie Eden Lake, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. Next up is Argent. From Robert Bresson. This is about a counterfeit bill which starts as a schoolboy prank, circulates around as a virus, it says, among the corrupt and virtuous alike before landing with a young truck driver, leading him to incarceration and violence. I'm intrigued by it. This is Spine 886 from 1983. I like the idea of that with the counterfeit money. Just how that all money can basically transfer hands from rich, poor, everybody in between, and just I'm assuming it's going to show the lives of these people and how it affects them with the counterfeit, and then how the unfortunate young truck driver is affected. Next up is Phoenix, which is from 2014, is Spine 809. I haven't heard much about this. A couple of people had recommended this to me. The only things that I have heard have been really high praise. And this is a German film. I lived in Germany when I was a kid. Again, a lot of these ones are foreign films. I haven't, mentioned them specifically. French film, but so on and so forth. And I feel like I've been introduced to a lot of great foreign cinema because of Criterion Collection. Again, I lived in Germany as a young kid for 4.5 years in Frankfurt, Germany. I remember going on a cruise, class cruise on the Rhine River. I remember loving the country, and I would like to revisit. Sprechen Sie Deutsch? I wish I would have retained more of the language. Now I only know like a couple little sayings. And I love the concept here too. It's post-World War II. After surviving Auschwitz, a former cabaret singer who has a disfigured face, she gets facial reconstruction and returns to her ravaged home city to find her husband, who may or may not have betrayed her to the Nazis. And it's kind of interesting because he doesn't recognize her. And so it's is it a tale of revenge or romantic reconciliation? You don't know, I guess, until the final scene. I just love the concept of that. Really intrigued by it. Yeah, and I'm just gonna go through this real quick. Akiru is a Japanese film. Akira Kurosawa, English. General Idi Amandata was English from what I can recall. I thought there might have been subtitles, but maybe not. Maybe I'm incorrect on that. It's been a while since I've seen it, but I guess it's English. It doesn't say anything else in the back on that one. And then this one right here is a camera person is in English, Bosnian, Arabic, Dari, Hausa, Fur. So in a bunch of different languages there. Japan is Spanish. Shame is Swedish. Again, Ingmar Bergman. Straw Dogs, English. Argent, French, which I already mentioned. And then German for Phoenix. Next up is Only Angels Have Wings by Howard Hawks. Howard Hawks did The Thing from Another World. He did a bunch of great films. This stars Cary Grant, Jean Arthur, and also Rita Hayworth in a small breakout role. This, of course, is an English film from 1939, Spine 806. And basically, Cary Grant is a airmail company pilot. He's a daredevil pilot playing aloof and, I guess, going through these mountains, very treacherous. And there's a romance when traveling entertainer Jean Arthur stops over in this South American port town, and you know, he's kind of hesitant to get involved with her, and she's also hesitant too because he's a daredevil. And again, the cast right here and Howard Hawks, I'm definitely intrigued for that one. Next up is Leia Mish, which is a Italian film from 1955, Spine 817, filmed by Michelangelo Antonioni, and it says it's an early achievement by him, and that this is a fragmented depiction of modern bourgeoisie life, and I guess it's a perspective of 5 Turinese women, 4 of whom are trying to make sense of the 5th suicide attempt. Very intriguing. Okay, I actually wasn't aware of that aspect initially when I got this. Basically, they're examining their own lives because of it, and their troubled romances in the process. So that is interesting. So even more intriguing than I initially expected. Next up is, I like the digipack designs. A lot of people don't like the digipack designs for Criterion, but I do. I'm definitely a fan. This is Investigation of a Citizen Above Suspicion, filmed by Elio Petri, and this is from 1970. It is Spine 682. This is an Italian film, and I am really excited to check this one out. This is one of the ones I've been looking forward to the most out of this stack right here. The concept here has me super intrigued. It's about a Roman police investigator who's investigating a heinous crime, which he himself committed. Sold. I love those kinds of crazy, dark crime thriller films, and this sounds like what this is going to be. It's a character study. This is a disturbing commentary on draconian government crackdowns in Italy in the late 60s, early 70s. It's also a portrait of surreal bureaucracy and perversely pleasurable rendering of controlled chaos. I like that. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing this lead actor too and how he portrays that particular character. But yeah, I love the digipack design. Looking forward to this one big time. This is probably going to be one of the first ones that I watch here. Next up is La Vie de Boheme. I assume this is Bohemian. I don't know what that really translates to. Bohemian Life, maybe? And this is Spine 693 from 1992. This is a French film, and it's a deadpan tragic comedy about a group of impoverished outcast artists living the bohemian life in Paris. So I'm definitely intrigued by that. And again, a lot of these ones are ones that I picked out because I wasn't that familiar with them. And again, I've been introduced to so many great films because of Criterion Collection, especially foreign cinema. So I'm always looking for new films that I haven't heard of or aren't that familiar with. Next up is a double feature, Gates of Heaven in Vernon, Florida, 2 films by Errol Morris. And this is from 1978 and 1981, respectively, in Spine 751 and 752. It's a mixture of empathy and scrutiny. The first film uses 2 Northern California pet cemeteries. It says it's profound, funny rumination of love, loss, and industry. And the second one is kind of a more of a Southern, a handful of different folks, kind of like a slice of life one, I guess how they intermingle as well. Determined turkey hunter, a curious minister, and a laconic policeman. So just how they, I guess, interact right there. Intrigued by both of those. Next up is A Special Day, and these are both English as well, California and Florida. Next up, A Special Day, which is an Italian film from 1977, spine 778. And this is an Italian cinema dream team. It says Sophia Loren, which is one of the main reasons I was intrigued by this one, and Marcello Mastroianni. And it's basically set in Rome on the historic day in 1938 where Mussolini and the city first rolled out the red carpet for Adolf Hitler. And it's basically set in this working class apartment building where these two people form a friendship. One is a conservative housewife and mother tending to her, I guess, domestic duties, and then another one is a liberal radio broadcaster awaiting deportation. So I guess it's just, during that time of what's going on, and they meet and just form a friendship and bond. So that sounds, again, a lot of political things going on here, especially with World War II. Next up, this beast right here, Decalogue from Krzysztof Kieslowski. And this was like a Polish TV series. And it's 10 hours long, 583 minutes from 1988. And again, this is Polish, and it's spine 837. And it also includes a short film about killing and a short film about love, which were, I guess, two more parts of this series. It says also presented are the longer theatrical versions of the series' 5th and 6th films. It says it's one of the 20th century's greatest achievements in visual storytelling. Originally made for Polish television, focuses on the residents of a housing complex in late communist Poland, and I guess how their lives are intertwined, dealing with love, life, death, all the different things like that, hate, truth, morality, just all the different aspects of the different people living in the apartment. And you have a group of people living together, and they all have different views, and you're gonna get that coming out, and I'm excited for this. I've heard great things about this. This is gonna be like a marathon watch right there. You have to break it up in a few days, I think, but heard excellent things. This is another digipack design, Decalogue from Krzysztof Kieslowski. Again, Barnes & Noble just had their 50% off Criterion Collection sale. Picked up a bunch from there. I kept putting more and more on the pile and adding more. It's easy to get carried away. I feel like twice a year they have their sale. I feel like all the people that are really into Criterion Collection just wait and bide their time. It's hard to kind of hold off on some titles when they first come out, though. But I picked up a bunch of ones that I haven't seen before, a couple that I have. I'm really excited to dive in here, revisit the ones I have seen, and check out the ones that I haven't. So there you go. There are my 16 Criterion Collection Blu-rays. Again, from the Barnes & Noble 50% off Criterion Collection sale. Let me know if you've seen any of these movies and what you think of them, and which one of these is your favorite. Leave me those comments down below, and let me know as well what you would like to see Criterion Collection release in the future. And let me know what you picked up at the Barnes & Noble 50% off sale. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and expect another Criterion Collection Barnes & Noble 50% off sale video coming up in November, the next time that this happens, which I feel like November is such a tough month for sales and buying, because you got Black Friday, you got even after they get the Cyber Monday and the whole Cyber Week, Amazon usually does, and it's my birthday at the end of November too. So I feel like I usually spend a lot of money during that month. And then you got Christmas right after that, Christmas shopping. So it's going to be a tough time. My wallet is just going to cry. But there you go. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope everybody's doing well. Take care.